Ice Cream Man checking in live in direct from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Man, your boy not feeling good today, man. I want to let y'all know I got the sniffles. I started feeling a little something going on in my back of my throat. Pause. Um, started feeling something in the back of my throat. Pause. Last night, man, a little bug crawling up and down there. Pause. But took a little medicine. So y'all bear with me, man. I got a little sniffles tonight. But anyway, man, tonight, man, we're gonna get it in. We're gonna talk about Don Lemon's situation, him involving himself with the church protest on a Sunday morning, uh, morning or afternoon. I guess it don't really matter. But I'm gonna share my thoughts and opinions on that right there, man. So you guys get ready. Welcome to the Neighborhood Superstar Podcast. Let's check this out, man. Let's share our thoughts and opinions. And most of all, let's be respectful in the chat room, man. So I'm going to wait till everybody come on in. Y'all come on in and let's check for it, man. Let's get to it. Y'all come on in. Welcome to the Neighborhood Superstar Podcast. Don Lemon has, they say, invaded the church. I'm going to let y'all know, man, my thoughts and opinions on this right here, man. Don Lemon, I'm not on his side or nothing like this right here. I'm no fan of Don Lemon. You know, back when he was on CNN, I used to pay attention to him. I used to watch him, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I watch everybody. Don Lemon is an independent journalist. He was out there doing his thing, his journalism thing in the place where the riots are just, I mean, riots, protests, whatever you want to say, where they was going on at. From what I gather, it seems to me that the man saw that uh, the protesters was at this church, so he decided to go there and film and record and while he doing his thing. Once again, he is a journalist. These folks is trying to put it out there saying that he should be arrested because he enticed the damn protest. Like he was the one out there talking shit or whatever. This man, yep, the protesters went there and looking for a ICE agent who allegedly go to church there or some kind of high-ranking official with the church. So they went there. Don Lemon went there to report on the situation. That's my thoughts and opinions on it, man. Let's check it out.
This is the beginning of what's going to happen here. harboring.
He spoke. I'm gonna show a video next where the lady that who was involved in that chemo, she was arrested.
What do you think of it?
Yes, here it is.
It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So,
But there were folks who
I have to take care of my flock and my
listen, we live in there's a constitution, the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
David Easterwood is a pastor. That's the motherfucker they was coming there looking for.
That was the guy just speaking. They're gonna dig as deep as they can to find something.
They ain't gonna find nothing on Don Lemon. I don't see
No,
what.
I'm talking about a law. They're gonna dig as deep as they can to find some law to get it done. They're gonna find something. See your
Well, 1,500 American
I can't load the
soldiers
radar
ordered
on
by the
this.
Pentagon to prepare for deployment.
Okay, from what I've seen,
That's according to a defense official.
from what I've seen so far, y'all,
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org.
I didn't see anything. I didn't see any reason for Don Lemon to be arrested. Nothing. I saw he got the first dibs on the person that those people was coming and looking for. He got an interview with the person David Easterwood. He got that, and I think that's why the people on the main level side they mad because he's an independent journalist, and he went out there on the grounds and he got the information out there first. They was expecting David Easterwood to be on Fox or CNN first, not liberal-minded Don Lemon. Not him. They wasn't expecting that. I didn't see any reason for him to be arrested. Not at all. Now, personally, I'm for. Here you go, baby. I'm for the citizens of Minnesota kicking up dust in the. Yeah, that's. I'm for the citizens up there kicking up dust, fighting for their city. You know what I'm saying? But personally, I wouldn't have been up there, and if I went up there, I wouldn't have went inside of a church. You know what I'm saying? To protest, I would have stood outside the church. I would have stood outside the church and raised my hell instead of going inside. You know what I'm saying? So I have to. That's just my thoughts and opinions on that part right there. But for the ones who went in there and did what they were supposed to do, what they feel like they were supposed to do, and went in there inside the church, shout out to them. They did what they felt like they were supposed to do. But there was a lady who actually went into the church, and her name is Nakima Levy. She's a preacher, and she said it's conflicting stories about how they entered the church. You understand what I'm saying? See, people always say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Show is an edited and a small amount of video. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into this right here. Her being arrested. And might I add,
Outrage is growing in Columbia Heights,
I heard that they this thumbnail that I'm actually looking at right here, they was actually saying that the White House actually AI'd this picture, made it seem like she was crying. So that's kind of crazy that they doing stuff like that, man, with the AI. But let's check it out.
After ICE agents detained a 5-year-old boy named Liam Ramos and his father, who's an asylum seeker. Photos from the
Oh yeah, we definitely got to speak on that.
Standing next to Liam, who was wearing a backpack and a blue winter hat with bunny ears. He just returned from preschool. The father and son were then quickly sent to a detention facility in Texas.
Look at him.
Thursday, Vice President J.D. Vance went to Minneapolis and defended ICE for targeting the boy's father and detaining the preschooler.
Shout out to him.
So the story is that ICE detained.
Shout out to Ball. He said they don't need to dig deeper. It's all on camera. You're right about that. It's all on camera, man. It's all on camera. That camera's a motherfucker. Just reading the comments right quick, y'all. You'll bear with me. Shout out to everybody who left a message. We got 9 people. Check it out, the Neighborhood Superstar Podcast.
It's the leg right here. You need to turn the phone towards that leg.
All right, let's get to it.
And a 5-year-old, well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death?
Local officials in Columbia Heights condemned the detention of 5-year-old Liam. Rachel James serves on Columbia Heights City Council. She described efforts by neighbors to protect the boy.
Heard one neighbor say, I live in this house. I'm part of this family. I can take him, let him come to me. I heard another neighbor on the other side say, I have the forms. His mom signed the forms. Let me have him. I know him. I know him. I kept saying, stop, wait. He can go with us. He can go with the teachers. And then they took him over to the car, and he was just standing there. And then I quickly put him in the back seat and drove away.
On Thursday, the lawyer for the Ramos family, Mark Prokash, said Liam and his father had come to the U.S. in 2024 from Ecuador to seek asylum.
Liam and his dad did enter the United States at a port of entry to seek asylum through the CBP-1 app at the Brownsville border crossing. So they did everything right when they came in. They used the app, they made an appointment, they came to the border and presented themselves to Customs and Border Patrol.
Damn.
They've shared all of their information with the government, and they were following the process. They were just trying to secure safety and persecution for their family from their home country. But ICE didn't care about the fact that they had those pending claims and then just arrested them.
That's crazy.
This comes as hundreds of businesses.
Does the guy have a background?
Today as part of an
That's
economic
the
blackout
problem.
to protest
It
this
doesn't
surge.
matter if he had a background. He must have not had a background if the folks was pending his paperwork. They're not gonna pin the. They're not gonna adjudicate the fucking paperwork for a criminal.
That means they'll just deny it when they find out that he had an issue with his.
Look at this.
Inside a St. Paul church where one of the pastors, David Easterwood, also leads the local ICE field office in the Twin Cities area.
David Easterwood is a pastor here. He is also the director of the field office for ICE in St. Paul. So someone who claims to worship God, teaching people in this church about God, is out there overseeing ICE agents.
The activists involved in the protest now face charges under the FACE Act. That's the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, a law written to protect abortion clinics. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced Lady Armstrong's arrest. Then the White House posted an AI-generated image to make it appear that Armstrong was crying after arrest. The Justice Department also attempted to bring charges against the journalist and former CNN anchor Don Lemon, who covered the church protest, but a federal magistrate judge rejected the request. We go now to Minneapolis, where we're joined by Jordan Kushner, civil rights and criminal defense attorney who is helping to represent Nikema. We thank you so much for being with us, Jordan. If you can start off, you were with her when she was arrested, is that right? Can you talk about the AI-generated image? Can you talk about her saying that she would turn herself in, but they they said no, because they said they were after her over the last few days and what she was doing in that church.
That's correct. Well, the arrest was a horrible ordeal. She was and some other people in her group were staying in a hotel. The group of FBI and Homeland Security agents busted into the hotel the night before her arrest, roughed people up. They were thrown out by the management. Later on at 3 in the morning, someone left Nikema Levy Armstrong's room. The agents tackled her facility before they realized that she wasn't Nikema Levy Armstrong. So she was obviously terrified about turning herself in. The legal team, including myself, went to the hotel that morning. We reached out to agents to try to arrange for her to turn herself in voluntarily at the federal courthouse, which was only about 6 blocks away.
Is she from Minneapolis?
Oh no.
What was she doing hiding out in the motel room?
He called me himself. I made my request to him. He said it was very reasonable. He was just going to call me back in a few minutes.
Hiding.
I don't think she was hiding in the fucking.
Come on now. You're hiding at this point.
We're not going to let her turn herself in. We need to arrest her at the hotel. So she needs to voluntarily leave the hotel room and turn herself in. So after he talked,
She might have not been from fucking Minneapolis. She probably just traveled to Minneapolis.
They then
Let's
sent
find
agents up there to the hotel room to arrest her. One of the agents.
We got 9 people checking out the Neighborhood Superstar Podcast. 2 lights. Let's hit them lights, y'all.
Cell phone. I've never seen anything like that. Body cameras. This was completely unprofessional. He said he was just doing it because of instructions, and he promised.
Let's get at least 5 lights, man.
Nevertheless, it went on Twitter. It went on the Department of Justice's Twitter, so this was their trophy. And then, as you said, the White House subsequently altered the video to make it look like she was crying. I observed the whole arrest. She was dignified, rational, calm, and reasonable the whole time. It just shows the complete political motivation of the government making this a circus. This has nothing to do with enforcing the law. It has nothing to do with protecting anyone's religious rights. It's all about. It's about frankly just about fascism. And fascism means part of that is that the government makes their own narrative. They invent reality, and they're literally doing that with an AI video. And so what this is about. Yeah.
Jordan, I wanted to ask you if you could talk about the charge.
Breaking news, 7 minutes. Breaking news 7 minutes ago. I'm about to play that next. Breaking news. Y'all stay tuned. We got 10 people checking out the Neighborhood Superstar. Breaking news 7 minutes ago.
Violate civil rights, or conspire to violate constitutional rights of other people. The claim is that by protesters going into a church to raise objections to how this church conducted its business, with Nikema Levy Armstrong being a reverend herself, that somehow deprived the people in the church of their right to freedom of worship. It is a farce. It was passed to really protect people's constitutional rights. That's what she's charged with. The government also sought to charge her with another offense under the FACE Act, which
Ball Striker Bandit said they really should have never been on church property in the first place. They had no business there. That's what Ball Striker said, baby.
I agree.
Rights. This was an exercise of free speech.
Even Don Lemon shouldn't have been there.
Constitutional rights.
Yeah, but people are pushing. I agree with your statement, Ball Striker. But that's why I said personally, I wouldn't have been went inside the church and protest. But I don't think he should be fucking arrested and facing any kind of charges.
He refused to condemn what Nikema had done, said that it's time, and we've seen this with the Catholic bishops as well, saying it's time for us to, he said...
Breaking news coming up next. I'm going to play the breaking news right now.
I wanted to have Nikema on this morning, but she's still not out of jail. We have 10 seconds.
Hundreds of Minnesota business owners went on strike today in protest of the ongoing ICE crackdown in the Twin Cities. Small businesses temporarily shut down for for what they call a, quote, day of truth and freedom. It comes as a Minnesota school district accuses ICE of detaining a 5-year-old boy and using him as bait to go after his father. Federal immigration officials say
look at the little pogo thing.
When officers approached Conejo Arias, he and his child were in a vehicle. Arias fled from law enforcement on foot, abandoning his child in the middle of winter.
I will say unequivocally that we are experts in dealing with children. Let me say that again, experts in dealing with children. Not because we want to be, but because we have to be.
CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camila Montoya Gomez joins us now. So we know that the family's attorney is disputing that the father abandoned his boy. But what do we know? What more do we know about this?
Well, we did review Justice Department documents right here, Lindsay, that do indicate that Liam and his father, both people from Ecuador, have pending immigration court cases. What does that mean? It means that immigration judges here in the U.S. have not fully considered or adjudicated their claims, and they cannot be legally deported, at least yet, until an immigration judge decides whether or not they have a legal basis to be here. They could be seeking asylum, and if so, an immigration judge has to adjudicate that underlying asylum claim and then decide whether or not they should be deported or allowed to stay here in the country. Legally, we also know that Liam and his father are now held at the Dilley ICE detention facility in Texas. That is the only long-term family detention facility that the agency has for parents who are detained with underage children.
Together or separately?
They should be. It's a dorm-like setting for many of the families there, but it is still a restricted detention facility. They're still in the legal custody and the physical custody, that is, too, of
That's
the
a
U.S.
damn
government,
shame.
and they will be held there according
How
to
fucking
ICE
degrading.
pending that deportation proceeding.
So why is ICE going after people whose cases for asylum have not yet been adjudicated? And what else do we know about these allegations that the boy was
Good
used as
question.
bait?
It's a good question. That is not necessarily new. The Trump administration has been increasingly targeting people who may have pending asylum cases or pending applications for other immigration benefits, arguing that they still do not have a valid reason to be here and that the Biden administration, in many cases, allowed them into the country illegally in circumvention of U.S. immigration law. That has been the argument. Of course, advocates would say that the administration is targeting people who are playing by the rules, who are complying with the process, and who don't have a criminal record, like it appears to be the case in this family's case, and that they're playing by the rules and are trying to get legal status. The administration does have the authority legally under U.S. law to detain anyone who does not have a visa or a valid immigration status, including pending asylum claimants, but it's a question about logistics and policy and whether the administration should be prioritizing dangerous criminals with the limited detention space that it has over people like Liam and his dad.
Thank you.
Man, this next video right here, shout out to that little kid, man. Y'all know I'm the ice cream man. These little kids have a special place in my heart, man. This could have been a customer of mine. I have a lot of Hispanic customers, so this very well could have been a customer of mine buying a SpongeBob or a bag of Takis, whatever, or a soda, anything off the ice cream truck. You understand what I'm saying, baby? Could have been. There are some good mothers out there. There are some shitty mothers out there. This next video is what I'm about to play right here is heartbreaking, man. I don't know if the media is trying to put this woman out there to be a bad person or whatever, but man, y'all listen to this next video right here about this little boy's mother. This is some fucking crazy ass shit right here. Here we go, guys. Actually, I got it.
Chairman Jordan
This was really an opportunity for people to see who's being picked up. And the administration, the Trump administration, is doing this daily now. And I made note, a lot of sex crime, a lot of pedophilia that they're finding. And, you know, we've been reporting for years now, all through the ex-president Biden's presidency, not just about the children who were lost, which is horrific, 300,000 of them, and even former DHS Secretary Mayorkas admitted they couldn't find all those kids. I don't know how hard they were looking. But the bigger problem overall was the sex trafficking of children and young women.
We'll always talk about Biden's
And
dumb
you
ass.
can see a lot of what was going on in terms of
Stop
sex
talking
crimes
about that
now as they
motherfucker.
pulled
Move
up these
forward.
pictures. Now, some may argue, well, they're hand-picking those. Then I would ask, why
Mac,
are
don't
there
move
so many?
forward.
Because there are
We got
a lot.
13 people checking out the Neighborhood Superstar Podcast. How y'all doing today, man? Hit that like button.
The left says they are concerned about children. We all, as a nation, should have been more concerned when 300,000 were missing in this country. If there's a chance to find those kids, if there's a chance to reunite them with freedom and with care. And that one little one that Commander Bovino talked about, I mean, this will stick with all of us. Can you imagine a child, non-surgical wounds, they suspect some kind of drug in his system.
What?
Maybe he was a mule and there were drugs inside, but they couldn't wake him up and they had to do a stirring rub to wake him up. A little one.
What?
Needed then to be resuscitated and then stitched up professionally
Make
to
it.
save him. What in the world are we doing if we don't protect our kids? And
This can't be
our
true.
kids, no matter where they
Get the fuck out
Rewind
of
her. She couldn't have said that about that child.
protect our kids.
That's it, to my, about this little boy.
No way.
Maybe he was a mule and there were drugs.
Listen to this bitch, y'all.
Air. Chance to find those kids. If there's a chance to reunite them with freedom and with care. And that one little one that Commander Bovino talked about, I mean, this will stick with all
Oh,
of us.
no, not him. It was-
Oh, okay.
I was scared.
Wounds. They suspect some kind of drug in his system. Maybe he was a mule and there were drugs inside, but they
I hope that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, somebody else was mentioning it.
A little one needed then to be resuscitated and then stitched up professionally to save him. What in the world are we doing if we don't protect our kids?
No kidding.
And I mean our kids, no matter where they come from.
Right.
Because they're little, they didn't choose it. A whole lot to get to, and the Trump administration laying it out. We just heard more.
So they're trying to hit you with the kids shit. See, nobody
They
wants.
get me with the kids shit.
Nobody wants the kids to get fucked over.
But
Nobody wants the kids to get fucked over, but they throw this kid shit in to get you on your tender side to make you be down with the motherfuckers who halfway in and halfway out on their thoughts and opinions on ICE being in Minneapolis.
Well, then they need to quit because they're out there blowing whistles so predators can get out of the fucking back door before they hit their front door. Quit blowing the goddamn whistle.
Like the old man, we're gonna talk about that next, y'all. Like the old.
The old man was 57 years old. He wasn't this 80-year-old old
It
man.
doesn't. He was fucking an old man. Look how he was walking out there with no fucking shirt on.
There was mugshots now of 3 of the anti-ICE rioters who stormed the Minnesota church in St. Paul, disrupted, terrorized services last Sunday. Well, now those 3 suspects are facing federal charges. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry is finally speaking out about the church protest, but only to side with the rioters. Watch this part.
Now with the nurse.
You're charged with the murder of your wife.
Abuse of power, and she should immediately be released.
Today in Minnesota, far-left activists are calling for a day of protests and boycotts. Thought they were already doing that. Now they want publicity, apparently. And we've been showing you this photo of that 5-year-old little boy involved in an ICE operation making the rounds across the country. The legacy media are seizing and using it as an opportunity to attack ICE agents.
This is not about deporting people. It's about demeaning people. It's about desensitizing people.
It doesn't really signal we want to work with you if you're at the 600-man department in Minneapolis
and they bring in 3,000 masked thugs.
So you saw that being talked about today at the news conference that wrapped up just a couple of minutes ago. The commander of Border Patrol, Greg Bovino, and the ICE Assistant Director, Marcos Charles, were both saying that that child would have needed some sort of support. And the story about the dad walking hand in hand to or from school with that child was not true. I mean, getting to the facts is going to be critical because those who are going to posture the politics of this moment from the left, you're going to have to counter that with the facts. And that's what you're starting to see more and more of with proof, with receipts, with those mugshots and more. Garrett Tinney is on the ground in Minneapolis.
Yeah, and Harris, those pictures of that 5-year-old boy standing in the cold race back and a half went viral after school leaders and then Democratic officials claimed that ICE was detaining that child and then using him as bait to try to lure the boy's family outside so they could arrest the family. There's been a ton of outrage over those claims, despite DHS saying they are completely false. You just heard that this past hour from Greg Bovino as well as ICE. Here's Vice President J.D. Vance with the administration's account.
Well, that's good that DHS said that.
The 5-year-old was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien, and then when they went to arrest his illegal alien father, the father ran. So the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death?
Y'all excuse my wife.
And then on the investigation into that protest at a Twin Cities church this last weekend, federal prosecutors have charged 3 of the protest's organizers, and officials say they are hoping to add to that list. But Fox News has learned a federal magistrate judge rejected multiple arrest warrants DOJ requested for other individuals from the protest, including former CNN anchor Don Lemon.
It's just chilly.
Groups and Democratic officials are slamming these cases as purely political prosecutions, though. Today, they are calling for a statewide shutdown so that as many people as possible can get out in the streets today to protest ICE.
It is the day of truth and freedom across the state, where we don't shop, we don't go to work, and we don't go to school, but instead we come together in protest and community, and dedicated to one another, leaning in with one another.
You don't take the kids out of school. I can get no shopping, don't spend no money, but don't take the kids out of school. Damn.
Freezing temperatures, and yesterday, Vice President J.D. Vance said people are welcome to protest all they want over the administration's immigration policies, but they have to stay peaceful or they will face consequences. Harris?
Yeah, they actually have to protest and not riot. Matt, thank you very much. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE agents in Illinois, have arrested more than 800 illegal aliens in the course of Operation Midway Blitz there. Many of them are repeat offenders with outstanding warrants, so they've been in the system. The operation's been centered in and around Chicago since early last September, despite fierce state and local resistance. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons with this shortly after that launch.
ICE is a federal law enforcement agency, and we're out there enforcing federal law. I really wish the governor would look at the heinous crimes that these criminal aliens are committing in his state.
You got the black guys. Look at the black guys, the YNs.
Releasing these violent criminal aliens to kill Americans, right? That cause harm in our neighborhoods. Operation Midway Blitz. We're doing that in honor of Katie Abraham. She was a young lady, part of her life, that was killed in a DUI crash.
Got the Migos. They ain't got
been
no Russians.
Let's focus on Katie.
No Italians.
She was killed just over a year ago. Now her father is demanding that Illinois...
Nobody from Ukraine? Nobody from Ukraine? We ain't got no British motherfuckers? Visas expired?
God bless you. Thank you for being in focus. A lot happening.
No
today.
Filipinos?
About a year ago and what you've been through.
Yeah, we lost Katie.
We got no Vietnamese?
January 19th. It's been the most difficult year of our lives. It's been brutal. The person that killed Katie, Julia Cucabol, who was using an alias, who couldn't read or write English or Spanish, he was using a Tai Chi language, barreled into them at 80 miles an hour. Katie died on the scene. He flagged the scene. So you hear a lot of this like, oh, you're separating families and you're disappearing people. Well, I was separated. Katie's been disappeared. Why is there no consideration on that for Katie? When am I going to get a phone call to say, let's go to Springfield and protest Governor Pritzker's radical policies? He nullifies federal law. He tells Congress that immigration's their purview. He nullifies it, basically comes up with his own immigration plan, which is nothing. Clearly, it was nothing. He allows hundreds of thousands in. Katie, and more than, Katie wasn't the only victim, and he's got nothing but silence for us. Unfortunately, Renee Good in Minnesota, 2 seconds in, he's in front of the mic. I don't understand the one-sided compassion. Apparently, Katie does not qualify for any compassion from our governor, J.B. Pritzker.
Joe, as you look at what's happening in the streets in different cities around the
I'm
country,
assuming his daughter was killed by an illegal immigrant. I'm
what is your
assuming.
response to all of it?
They do not have the moral high ground. It's very disappointing to watch so-called protesters.
That's fucked up.
So if from their perspective, let's take it from their perspective, they say, oh, ICE is terrorizing our communities. So what do they do in response? Terrorize communities. I don't understand. You're going to churches, you're in the streets, you're bothering people, terrorizing people, living their lives, and you say you're the moral high ground, folks? You lost that. You're not. You are just as bad as what you're so-called fighting for. Now, I met hundreds of ICE agents and support staff, the most diverse, professional, dedicated, cooperative, competent people I've ever seen. The left always says DEI, we need diversity. I've never seen a more diverse organization than these guys. They should be championed. They should be used as an example of what a DEI operation should look like.
Damn.
Instead of being torn down like this, the federal agents trying to enforce federal law. That's all they're doing. And the states, only a few states look like this. Minnesota and Illinois, specific reasons why it looks like this. Their leaders want the chaos in the streets. They need the chaos in the streets. They have to have something to deflect on the complete and utter mismanagement of their states. The only people think that those states are running well are the actual people running the states. They're the only ones that think the states are running well.
Joe Abraham, if anybody thinks
Wow.
that you and your family are not up to speed on everything that's going on, you are glued because you have given up so much. You deserve to have a big voice in all of this. God bless you. And I know you miss
Yeah.
Katie.
God bless that man and his family. Losing his daughter. Like I said, I'm assuming his daughter died from
Tax Act doesn't care which tax.
what sounds like a car wreck to me, by a legal immigrant. That's horrible. That's horrible. But once again, it so happened that the young lady died by an illegal immigrant. What I'm for that. Get his ass, prosecute his ass, and to the fullest. But what I'm fucking complaining about is the profiling of the people. The people who are seeking asylum, like my man that ran away and left a little boy. From the knowledge that I received, they was talking about how my man was a construction worker. So I'm assuming he was at work and had his son there. And so ICE came and he took off. That's the knowledge that I've received. And I also received the video that I didn't play. The video that they didn't have this information that I was about to play for y'all, but they was talking about how ICE. Now, if this is true, ICE did a pretty good job with this right here. They said after the dude ran away, they tried to give the little boy. They waited on they tried to contact the mother to come get the little boy. The mother didn't want to come get the little boy. She basically abandoned the little boy. Now, as I said that, I'm wondering this right here. As I just said that, because I heard that this morning before I went to work, that the mother, that ICE wanted to give the little boy to the mother, and she was like, "Hell no, I don't want him." But it made me wonder this right here. Did the mother say, "Man, I got to take one for the team. That's my son. I'm sorry." I told y'all I got that cold, man. Y'all bear with me. Did the mother say, "I'm at work too. Uh, that's my son. I have to take one for the team." Did she say that? Or did she believe? Did she? I can't see a mother saying doing that. But did she say? Did she think the shit was real? Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know. I just don't see a mother saying "fuck the child." But they put that out there this morning. That the mother didn't want to fuck with the little boy. She didn't want to come get the little boy. Was she scared? Like, if I go get my son, if I go pick my son up, is this bait? If I go pick my son up, will they detain me too? I don't know.
As anger mounts over federal agents' use of violent and legally questionable tactics as part of the White House's immigration crackdown. Businesses across the state of Minnesota are closed today as part of the so-called ICE Out demonstrations calling on agents to leave the state. It comes amid a cascade of jarring images from on the ground in Minneapolis as thousands of federal agents have surged to the area amid the aftermath of ICE's shooting and killing of Renee Nicole Good. We've seen authorities pepper spraying protesters in some cases in the
Look at that.
while they were on the
He's pepper spraying that motherfucker that close. Why is he doing that? Look, this the old man.
At gunpoint and without
This granddaddy.
and authorities led him out of his house in his underwear in the cold. He was later released and is vowing to file a civil rights lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security.
They drove him around for an hour.
5-year-old boy Liam Ramos was taken into custody as he made his way home from preschool, with school officials claiming ICE used the child as, quote, bait to arrest his asylum-seeking father. Border Patrol and ICE officials pushing back on that claim earlier today and defending their tactics.
Did everything they could to reunite him with his family. Tragically, when we approached the door of his residence, the people inside refused to take him in and open the door.
Now, a lawyer for the boy's family says he's currently being held in a detention facility in San Antonio, Texas, with his father. Meanwhile, the Minneapolis mayor saying today that what's happening.
So the little boy's locked up too.
This is not about safety. It's not even about immigration. What we are seeing right now.
Let me hear that again.
Minneapolis mayor saying today held in a detention facility in San Antonio. Now, a lawyer for the boy's family says he's currently being held in a detention facility in San Antonio, Texas, with his father. Meanwhile, the Minneapolis mayor
That's
says
a goddamn
what's
shame.
happening in his city is no longer about enforcing the law.
This is not about safety. It's not even about immigration. What we are seeing right now is that this is political retribution. It's about causing.
The little boy is locked up in the detention center with his daddy.
Shows nearly 2/3 of voters disapprove of the way ICE is handling its job, and a majority of voters say ICE has gone too far in its tactics. But 50% of voters say they do approve of the Trump administration.
I was actually looking at something earlier today where the little boy's school teachers was involved, talking about how sad this situation is. Can you imagine how heartbreaking, how much their heart is fucking torn? They see this little boy every day. This is a little boy. I bet you these teachers wish they could take this little boy home. I guarantee you they feel that way. But he instead, yet and still, he's in a fucking detention center, detained, locked up with his damn daddy. That's fucking crazy. And they are seeking asylum. Which I found out what I learned today what seeking asylum means. Meaning that, they and I learned the word being adjudicated, meaning adjudicated means that's a high class word for being in the process of working on getting it pushed forward. So they was in seeking asylum. So meaning that, in my opinion, these folks here, they legal. And then I was watching some news earlier today that there's some people that feel like that people who are seeking asylum should be detained and kicked the fuck out. Listen, I always say this right here. My biggest thing about this right here, why I fucking here's a poll right here I'm about to play next. We say Trump administration deportation of immigrants living in the United States illegally. Some support and oppose. I oppose it because of how they treating the people. The profiling. I feel like personally, wait till the people fuck up, make a mistake. Excuse me when I said a mistake. I extract that word, be saying making a mistake. But the ones who out there and going out there committing crimes, and then they catch their ass, and then you find out they're illegal, then you process them motherfuckers to their fully extent. Don't go out there on a construction site and judge and picking people and decide what group of people that you're gonna be fucking with, because like I said, I'm the ice cream man here in my city, and they my customers, so I'm biased, but at the same time, I'm coming to this with a humanistic side. You don't treat people that way. You understand what I'm saying? Especially when you see them out there working and you see them at work. This man was at a construction site building something that's for the community, I'm sure. Because that's damn sure what's going on in my city. That's who's doing the building in my city. The Latinos. I can't imagine riding down through my city selling ice cream. I told y'all about how I was in a construction site. These folks building a big old apartment complex, and one of them thought that we made a joke, said they thought we was ice. Or y'all asked me in my ice. I'm the ice cream man. That was kind of hurtful. So I'm biased on this shit right here. You know what I'm saying? Don't be profiling these folks. Just because I actually seen something on my girl Abby Phillips. I was looking at a clip on her show. They was talking about how, damn, do a person need to fuck the driver's license? Do I need to have my damn birth certificate with me too? That's fucking crazy. So even that we,
Do
huh?
I even need to have my birth certificate on me too?
Yeah,
It's a crazy thought.
Yeah. And I got a fucking white wife that just said that. But I already know. I told my wife, I said one day they gonna come ask me, "Are you an American citizen?"
Show me your papers, kind of shit.
Show me my papers.
That'd be crazy when they do that.
And I'm gonna go live when they pull me over, y'all. I'm gonna go live on that right there. But let's get back to this right here, this video right here, man.
The country illegally. Joining me now to start us all off is NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa, who's on the ground in Minneapolis. NBC News senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley, and NBC News senior national political reporter Sasha Kapoor. Maggie, I have to start with you. You have been tracking these protests from the start. Despite the frigid temperatures today, people are still out protesting. Talk a little bit about what they're telling you.
Yeah, Chris,
Listen, for sure, if we can bring up that new video that we just got in of the crowds out there, they are massive. It's incredibly striking how many people easily in the thousands have turned out for this ICE out protest in the middle of a workday in -8 temperatures right now with a wind chill of -33. They've been marching through the city, basically toward US Bank Stadium, which is where the Vikings play. We do have those images. It's incredibly, there you go. This is basically the
That's a peaceful march right there.
to show
Yeah, that's
unity
peaceful.
against what a lot of people on the ground that we've talked to, and similar to what the mayor just said there, see as an invasion of their city. And it's really exacerbated by a lot of the latest kind of flashpoint headlines, including that about little Leah
Those people get to go home. They don't go to jail tonight.
You know what? I did hear.
Shot tonight.
I did hear from a reliable source that I did hear from a reliable source that the shit that goes down is in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I actually seen something that I seen this lady. Matter of fact, I think she was on Stephen A. Smith's show, and she was talking about how the police officers of the city was letting the protesters do their thing and shit, and although they wasn't really abiding by the motherfucking rules of where they should be, but the police officers were still there letting them fucking do their fucking thing, wasn't fucking with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she said up until when they started to want to throw rocks and shit at the police had no choice but to do so.
Yeah,
Now that's what the lady Laura Coates that be on CNN, got her own show on CNN. That's what she said that she witnessed when she went up there.
Well, that's probably facts.
Was arrested, and our producer on the ground asked people in the crowd how they feel about that kind of latest thread of the story of children being taken into custody.
Yeah, it was a child.
This reaction was really
And he's detained with his daddy
until they figure out where to put that child. Where are they going to put him? They need a family member. They're not going to drop that child off at the random neighbor's house. That's not how that works. He's with his daddy, though.
but they're seeking asylum.
Yeah, that's the problem. I assumed the child was an American. I guess I was kind of hoping he was.
Listen.
They're kids. How can you? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
would do that to a child.
all our producer said.
It's hurtful,
to get that
man.
reaction was literally, there have been headlines recently of children taken into ICE custody.
Yeah, I put some hearts in there for that little boy, man. Show some love. Show some love for that little boy. We got 3 people checking out the Neighborhood Superstar Podcast. Show some love to that little boy. Put some hearts in the chat room.
This entire city in the weeks since these raids have unfolded.
Well, and Maggie, it seems like that 5-year-old boy, the image of him in custody, feels like it's becoming, quite frankly, an inflection point in this debate over how ICE is being deployed. You talked to a top ICE official about this. What are you hearing in that regard?
I'm good,
Definitely.
man.
I mean, this is like Kristen, a preschooler turned poster child for the outrage over these immigration raids.
Yeah.
And just to kind of set the stage,
He's a cute little kid.
up on this, DHS says they were targeting the father of little Liam Ramos. You see him there, and that the father took off running, saying he was in the country illegally. That he took off running, and in their words, abandoned his child. They said no one in the house would come to take little Liam inside, so that's why they took him with them, eventually arresting dad, and now they have the two of them together. The school district has been saying that little Liam, in their words, was used as bait to try to lure adults out of the house. They're slamming DHS and ICE for having him in custody at all. So all of this to say, at this press conference today, we had top Border Patrol leaders and ICE leaders really frustrated about the narratives they feel like they've seen in the media and on social media, and they kept clarifying, listen, he is with his dad, he is with his family, he's at a family detention facility, they call it a residential center, in Texas. He's safe, and so that prompted this exchange, this questioning from me. So take a listen. outraged at the idea of little kids being held in custody at all. So what do we say to those people, and what kinds of conditions are
We got to show
young
them all
children
over
being held
Tennessee.
in?
Purple. Was all over the state of Tennessee.
As far as, that family has not been separated. So it goes back.
We reported that. So
Look
even
at
with
look
that
how
in
the
mind,
purple
he's in
covers the whole
custody,
state.
being detained in Texas with his dad.
Yes, with his dad. So that goes back to exactly
We.
what I just said is many American citizens
And then
are
again,
separated
woo.
when they're arrested, say by Minneapolis Police Department or any other police department, they are separated from their children when they're arrested. So take a look at what's happening here with this particular case.
It's in northern Mississippi, probably going to get hit the hardest as far as the
Yeah.
power grid.
Yeah.
So that was effectively Gregory Rubino's answer, Border Patrol Commander. And Kristen, I asked the question that way because he said it's being reported that Liam's by himself. He's not with his family. And I said, listen, we've reported several times in depth that he is being held with his father. Nevertheless, we're seeing this anger on the streets here. Well, Maggie, that's for your
Because they're seeking asylum, is why you're saying anger people.
there in Minneapolis. Please stay safe in those cold temperatures. We really appreciate you joining us, Julia Ainsley. Let me turn to you and ask you about another piece of this. There's this memo that came out effectively saying that officers can in fact enter people's homes without a warrant. What can you tell us about this? Well, I will tell you about that quickly on the boy. We understand he didn't legally enter the country. He used an app that the Biden administration had. It is not unusual to detain families together and to arrest families together. What is
He's an
unusual
innocent.
is targeting
Hold
someone
on, hold
who's
on.
following the rules. So
He did legally.
Yeah, they was in Mexico when they got they used the app, and then they had an appointment and they came over here legally. But why in the fuck did Dad take off?
Cause he's scared. He's scared.
And they'll let.
Listen,
they're gonna let them two go.
If I'm walking down the street and I see if I see goddamn 3 white guys running at me, goddamn it, I'm gonna run too.
They're gonna let them these two go.
Man, come on, man.
They're gonna let them go.
There's
They're gonna make sure Daddy got nothing to hide for running.
to go into homes without a judicial warrant.
So they allow you to go. So the bullshit lots, the police officers can go inside your house without a warrant now. Watch it.
ICE can't. I don't know about police.
By the local ICE field office to enter a home. That's a totally different break from ICE president. Previously, they needed a judge because otherwise it was a Fourth Amendment violation of search and seizure. And
That's
now
what I would
the
say.
understanding from 2 officials is that actually began in July, or actually in June rather, when the head of the person who drafted that
Upside down.
policy
Are we in
went to Los
distress?
Angeles right
I
before
guess
the
our nation is kind of in distress.
Yeah, hell yeah, we're in distress like a motherfucker. Shit.
I just seen that upside down flag, so
that has now gone out. Really appreciate it, Julia. Thank you so much for being here. So let me turn to you on Capitol Hill.
Most states. I was surprised Maine is under attack now.
For a full year,
Dang.
despite a fair amount of Democratic
Is that where Maine got the Russians blended in with the white folks?
we'll find out.
Is that where they at?
They're a Democratic state, though. That's why they're there.
Oh, get the fuck out of it. So he doing this for political reasons. Just like they said, politics, huh? We a little smaller about that, man.
He's politicking.
That's bullshit.
To the point where Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, the top Democratic
He said he was gonna do this, though.
struck this deal with Republicans on this DHS funding.
For the record.
Spent days defending it, turned against it, and voted against her own bill.
I don't know how they thought he was gonna do it.
7 centrist Democrats in the House voted for it, and by the way, they were
I
the
don't know
ones
how
who
I thought he was
felt
gonna
that
do it
the
either,
bill
but-
would have failed. In the Senate, this requires 60 votes, meaning, assuming Rand Paul is a no, because he always is, 8 Democrats at minimum. One of the 8 Democrats who voted for the last government funding bill, Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia, it sounds like he's a no on this bill. Let's show his statement. He said that appropriations bills need to fund priorities, but also restrain a runaway executive.
Man, Brown was good. I ate 3 of them today at work.
I appreciate you thinking of me for bringing me one.
deranged decision
I tried to keep a couple of them for you. But then here I said, hell, I'd take a chance to say it, but shit, it was gone.
At least, I appreciate you getting one hell. Oh.
We just said all I heard was Brown. You said Brownie?
I'm telling you, just seconds before I was thinking, damn, I didn't get anything sweet at the dollar store except for this, and I ate it all.
To enact the kind of accountability we need. End quote.
All right, Sahil. Well, fascinating to hear from both of them. Thank you for the view from Capitol Hill. We really appreciate it. Joining me now is Ty Cobb.
We're gonna listen to the we're gonna listen to the family lawyer for the little boy. Check it out.
In this story, again, my name is Mark Prokesh. This is my law firm, and Zena and Mary have joined me to talk about Liam and his dad. I have a few comments I'd like to talk about, and then Zena and Mary would, and then we'll open it up for some questions if you would like, which I'm assuming you will. And so I just want to talk a little bit about what happened, and then go in from there. Zena and Mary may have more specific details about what happened since I came in the next day to.
Are these guys human rights lawyers, or what are they?
I don't know. That's the family lawyer. That's his family lawyer.
Back up a little bit as far as perspective.
The daddy and the little boy.
His dad did enter the United States at a port of entry to seek asylum through the CBP-1 app at the Brownsville border crossing. So they did everything right when they came in. They used the app, they made an appointment, they came to the border and presented themselves to Customs and Border Patrol. They shared all of their information with the government, and they were following the process. They were just trying to secure safety and persecution for their family from their home country. But ICE didn't care about the fact that they had those pending claims and then just arrested them. And again, Zena and Mary can go through the details of that if you have questions about that.
It's not a good look.
My big concern here is that
No, it's not a good look. How many strikes do ICE need? Check marks do ICE need?
No, I'm talking about that's not a good look for you want people to do things the right way, and then you fuck them over.
Exactly. The bullshit that goes on, the hypocrisy of America. Here these folks are. You ask the Migos. I always keep saying the Migos. It's because they keep focusing on the Migos. Where's the Koreans and all the other different races at?
They'll be over in Maine and shit.
Where are those people that they fucking arrested? But anyway, you ask the people to do it the right way, and then when they do it the right way, they get fucked with. And then the father end up fucking taking the son to work, goddamn with him. You know what I'm saying? He's at work. The folks show up. He take off running. People asking why he ran because he was scared. He see what's going on TV. He probably has some friends fucking been already fucked with. But so this is their family lawyer right here telling the folks that the folks came in the right way on the biting through some kind of fucking app. I didn't know anything about that.
Tell us where.
Let's get back to it.
What county are we in right here? Right here?
And his dad are in San Antonio, Texas,
Which one?
at the Dilley facility.
26
Any people that remember the children in cages from 8 years ago, that's where.
Children in cages. Listen to that bullshit. Listen to this, y'all.
Are in San Antonio, Texas, at the Dilley of Senator Tina Smith. That Liam and his dad are in San Antonio, Texas, at the Dilley facility. Any people that have that remember children in cages from 8 years ago, that's where
I got some.
family units. We know that detaining children and families. Immigration violations are civil in nature, and so how can you justify incarcerating a child because of a civil violation, which again, is not even accurate here because they entered lawfully through the CBP-1
Well,
program.
keep stressing that.
And this family was not eluding ICE in any way. They were following all the established protocols, pursuing their claim for asylum, showing up for their court hearings, and posed no safety, no flight risk, and never should have been detained.
That dad's mad fucking shit right now.
Also that we'd like to make known. According to the Wall Street Journal, officers are being rewarded for making arrests, even if the immigrants are later released. So this is reprehensible. This is basically giving ICE officers that ability to just go pick anybody up because then they get their little bonus.
Yeah.
And so for years we've been speaking out about the inhumane practice of detaining families seeking asylum. Detention of families, parents, children who pose no flight risk, no danger to the community, is simply inhumane and unacceptable. Family detention is harmful to children and their families. It inflicts mental health trauma, subjects people to inadequate medical care, and prevents them from accessing legal counsel. That's why they were flown down to Texas. Our laws are clear.
This hearty meal is a real big deal.
So apparently,
you have the right to a credible fear screening, and if you pass the credible fear screening, you have a right to pursue your asylum claim before an immigration judge. And that's where we are at. We are in the process of pursuing our asylum claim. Being detained, it impedes their ability to work with their attorneys. It makes it more difficult to obtain the evidence that they need to support their claim, and finding expert witnesses and all of that help to support their claim. And let's state just a couple of things about the ICE enforcement that we've been seeing in Minneapolis. Law enforcement operations, they must prioritize public safety and respect for civil rights. This rapid buildup of enforcement it's clearly sacrificed proper training, and there are diminished standards for the work being done. Putting armed personnel in the field with insufficient preparation, it just raises the likelihood that things are going to go badly. So we're urging lawmakers and agencies to review those policies governing enforcement actions. We must be avoiding targeting or endangering ordinary residents, immigrants, our friends, our neighbors. And we've seen what happens now. There have been multiple violent encounters, and finally, we do recognize the need for immigration enforcement, but it must be measured, accountable, proportional, not endanger communities,
exactly,
and lawful.
In a lawful, inhumane way.
Good afternoon. My name is Zena Stenvik, Superintendent for Columbia Heights Public Schools. A little bit about Columbia Heights Public Schools. We educate and care about all of our students. Our top priority is the safety of our students, staff, and their families. Our mission is to create worlds of opportunity for each and every learner where all belong and all succeed. Our focus is on educating our children, not politics. Everyone who passes through our doors is a valued member of our community. Over the last few weeks, ICE agents have been roaming our neighborhoods, circling our schools, following our buses, coming into our parking lots multiple times.
Still got a runny nose.
So over the last few
My
weeks,
throat
I kept my head
is
down
good. Pause.
and focused just on supporting our school.
I don't even
our
take no
school
more
district,
medicine.
our
I'm
families, our
drinking.
students, our staff.
Maybe before
But
you
as
go to
of
bed,
this
you gotta
week,
take something.
4 of
I'm
our
just gonna give you a
students have been
choice of what you're gonna
apprehended and
take.
taken away by
We got
masked and
medicine in
armed
this house.
ICE agents with no identifying badges. So we decided it was time to speak up.
Did I
and
take
share
one
what's
of them already?
actually going on.
No.
That's what I thought you was gonna give me
The
earlier.
onslaught
This is
of
what
ICE
she
activity
took.
in our community is inducing
That's what I
trauma.
thought you was gonna give me.
Well, this
And
is
it's
for
taking a
severe. That's why I gave that to
Probably would
you.
have been good if you
Taking
gave me
a
that
toll
to
on
me.
our
And then
families,
there's
our
this.
staff, our community members.
One of them, hell, give me.
This is a drink and that's a chew.
Everything about our daily lives.
Which one?
Baby, which one you
It's
gonna
clear to
give
me
me?
that there are multiple
Fuck.
paths immigrants take legally to live and work in the United States, such as sponsorship, seeking asylum, refugee status, or temporary work permit, among others. You're the expert.
The young boy Liam and his father, who were taken yesterday, have the documentation. I saw it with my own eyes when I visited the home.
So it's a proven fact that this family is not criminals. I want to apologize. I want to apologize to the family, especially the woman, for saying that she wasn't shit. Because, like I said, I'm going by what the news say, saying that the woman refused to come get the little boy. You know, so I want to send my thoughts and prayers and ask the family for forgiveness for coming down on them like that. But it's clear that these people were law-abiding citizens, obviously working people, because you hear the man say they was met all their court dates and all this kind of stuff. I don't see a person who's meeting all their court dates, going to court and all that kind of stuff, and not showing no fucking stability and no fucking responsibility. At least showing the judge that, hey, this is what we're trying to do while seeking asylum, me and my family. Come on, man.
He went all through all that time to get here. He's not messing up once he's here.
Exactly.
I don't see that anymore.
No, not that family. Not that fucking family. And you heard that, another thing what I'm happy about is they had the school representative up there after the lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the school. Shout out to the school and the lawyer. I don't know who this other person is about to speak now. Let's check her out.
Much for being here. My name is Mary Gradlin, and I serve as a school board chair for Columbia Heights Public Schools. Our city is known as a city of peace, and it was named an All-American City in 2016. We are a small working class community. I've lived there for almost 20 years, and it's a pretty great place to live. And our children should not continue to be surrounded by
Bullshit me.
brandishing large
I was
guns in
looking
their
at you.
neighborhoods and at their
Get
loved
ready to
ones.
blame me.
We want to thank our community and the staff for all of the extra time and energy they've been dedicating to our impacted students and their families on top of their everyday duties.
Oh, no tears.
We're lucky to live in a place where the community has wrapped their collective arms around our neighbors. From elected officials to clergy to teachers to community leaders to moms and dads and uncles and aunts, from big brothers and big sisters, and our local police department.
You see how this is affecting her?
Everybody
She worked for the school that she fucking with the kids.
Heights as safe as it can be.
And seen the little boy being detained with his father.
Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe.
That's fucking crazy.
The safety in our community and around our schools is shaken, and our hearts are shattered. And honestly, at the end of the day,
Going out here?
children should be in school with their classmates.
Yeah.
And we want to focus
That
on
wind's actually, look,
educating our
I was
children.
gonna
That is why we are here. That is why I
Go
was
ahead.
elected.
You're gonna fit right into it.
Can I?
Hell yeah.
What is it you do?
You're gonna fit right into it.
This guy's a ghost. He never meets me.
Yeah.
And he's not working alone.
Kid, look, when you go out here, just keep it like that.
Our schools and communities must be safe places for children and families to thrive. And we need a diplomatic pathway out of this situation. And we are seeking a peaceful resolution, and we need your help. Because at the end of the day, we have whistles and they have guns.
Thank you. We'll take time for some questions now, and if you can, ask who you're directing the questions to. Again, Mark, Mary, Zena, so that we can each respond appropriately.
Mark, can I ask you a couple of things? One is, I wanted to just put in your ear, I don't know if you've heard this, what J.D. Vance said, and the way he described what happened with his family. He said that he went and looked up and researched what happened. He said, what I found was that a 5-year-old was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien, and then they went to arrest his illegal alien father, and the father ran. So the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what were they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death? That's how he described what happened. What you think of that?
Well, first of all, what I'll do is we'll tag team on this answer. So I will answer that, as I said, these are not illegal aliens. They came properly, they came legally and are pursuing a legal pathway. So that's just not accurate. As far as what actually happened, I'll turn it over to Mary.
So I was on my way to get my own children from school, and I heard the commotion and saw all the people. And as I got out of my car and came around the corner, I heard, "What are you doing? Don't take the child." His mom, like, there are people here that can take him. There was another.
I just said, didn't I say that earlier?
Was there saying,
it's people that, it's children that are officials that probably want to take the child.
Yelling, they saw that I was there and said, "School is here. They can take the child. You don't have to take them." And there was ample opportunity to be able to safely hand that child off to adults. And mom was there. She saw out the window, and dad was yelling, "Please do not open the door. Don't open the door," because of the other picture that I'm sure you've seen.
Hold on, I'm gonna pause this.
There's a little boy.
I'm gonna pause this because did she just say the mama was there? So mama was there, and so the news is putting out fake news, saying the mama didn't want the fucking child. She refused to come get it. That's what the news put out there.
And that's what they're saying. They're using the kid to try to lure people out of the house.
But the little boy that had nothing to do with the old man situation.
No, that's a totally different story.
Oh yeah, totally different story. Real short, baby. That moisture from that shower helps those flowers. You what? I said those moistures from that shower helps those flowers. I told you that years ago, you didn't believe me. But yeah, let's get back to this news, this fake news that these folks putting out there. Had me thinking that this mother wasn't shit. The mother had me thinking that the mother straight abandoned her son. I just said, didn't I say that earlier? Didn't I say that earlier, y'all? That the mother wasn't shit? And then I asked for the lady for some forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? So the fake news, this woman out here that's just speaking, this school official just put out there that people could have took this child to prevent the child from going to the detention center. And the mother was out there. Let's go back and hear that again.
Second question is, are you accusing ICE of using, and just one, the second question is, are you accusing ICE of using children as bait?
Think you're too busy for college? Think again. At UAB Online, Morrison, anytime, anywhere. Don't stop life to start.
These little shoes right here keep my feet warmsies.
God damn it. That's why I need that fucking software.
You're gonna get it.
I appreciate you guys checking out the Neighborhood Superstar Podcast, man.
The other picture that I'm sure you've seen, where there's a little boy knocking at the door with an ice agent. looming another adult who lived in the home that was there saying, I will take the child, I will take the child.
As I said, these are not illegal aliens. They
My own children from school, and I heard the commotion and saw all the people. And as I got out of my car and came around the corner, I heard, what are you doing? Don't take the child. His mom, like, there are people here that can take him. There was another adult who lived in the home that was there saying, I will take the child, I will take the child. Somebody else was yelling, they saw that I was there and said, school is here, they can take the child, you don't have to take them. And there was ample opportunity to be able to safely hand that child off to adults.
A lot of people say,
Mom was there, she saw out the window and Dad was yelling, please do not open the door, don't open the door.
So Mama was there.
Mama
The
was
other
there.
picture that I'm sure you've seen, where there's a little boy knocking at the door with an ice agent looming over him.
And just one, the second question is, are you accusing ICE of using children as bait?
Great question.
Yes, I mean, it's very clear from the pictures, from the videos, from firsthand accounts. I was there. This is what happened.
Yeah. One thing we know to be true, because again,
So this woman, shout out to that woman right there with the glasses on that just got finished speaking. She just put her reputation and her job on the line to tell the absolute truth. This was a mother going to pick her own kids up. And that's how she saw this whole situation right here. And even told the world that the mother was there. Because I said, I don't see how a mother would fucking abandon their child. And while this woman was speaking, you heard the lawyer say in the background, these are not illegal aliens. That's crazy.
four students taken, and
How many students?
One thing we know to be true, because again, we've had 4 students taken, and at least one of our 17-year-old students who was taken, when she cracked open the door, the agents pushed their way in and then apprehended the child and whoever was else in the apartment. So it's been, unfortunately, over the last few weeks, pretty common knowledge about not opening doors because they're pushing their way in, and I'm sure you've all seen multiple examples of like not tearing.
Remember early in the show, I showed y'all this lady who was talking about they're gonna be boycotting businesses and schools and shit. I see why they boycotting schools now. I see why not. It's been 4 students at this school district that has been detained. A 17-year-old girl opening the door because of ICE, because of the police. You would think that you will want your 17-year-old daughter to open the door for the police. If the police come knocking on my door, I'll be afraid. You understand what I'm saying? I'll be afraid, but I will fucking open the door for the police officers because I feel like, goddamn it, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck they doing knocking at my door, and I feel like, goddamn it, that's what I'm supposed to do. But I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So they basically bogart the little girl and took her and whoever the hell else was in the damn place. So I understand now why they boycotting the schools.
Down doors, which is something that we had happen in Columbia Heights today at a home of 5 of our children.
Clear, have you had any contact with the boy or his father since they were taken into the custody?
We've not had direct contact, we've had indirect contact. We've been trying to set up calls with the Dilley facility, but it's notorious to to get that call time. So we're working on it, and we've had indirect contact.
And just to clarify, were you working with this family on their asylum case before this incident, or were you just called in after?
Good question.
I was just called in afterwards. I've been working on this for 36 hours.
Mark, can you tell us whether the family, whether the father and son, do you know from the conversations you've had with Senator Smith or other, whether they're being held together or if they've been separated at the facility?
I believe that they're being held together because that's the point of the Dilley facility. It's a family holding center. But I can't 100% confirm that, but I believe that they are together.
Superintendent, DHS is pretty forcibly online responding to articles both locally and from international outlets that are taking your words about the situation and calling those journalists and by extension you liars about this incident. To the best of your knowledge, do you know if their version of events is accurate in the idea that Dad ran away when I was there and Liam was left alone in the driveway?
So I haven't seen any of those articles at this point, so I don't have that background. I will say there were when I arrived on scene shortly after Mary was there were several people on scene. So when I exited my vehicle, I immediately said, "Where's the child? Where's the child?" That's what I was there to do, is to collect the child and return them safely to school. And so there were people there videotaping or videoing it. I wasn't there. I would perhaps, our local officers in Columbia Heights Public Schools, they all wear body cams. So perhaps the ICE agents could share their body cams or review their body cams, and they can actually show on video what happened. And so we have photo, there were bystanders there, we have video.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm currently in the ADN program at Gib.
Sad situation, man. Sad situation when they're taking the kids. I completely understand now when it comes to boycotting the school system now. At first, I didn't understand that, but now I do. This is really a hindrance on. Can you imagine the mental health that this is giving the kids? Nobody's thinking about the kids. These kids can't go and get a decent education of fear of being deported. And that's the kids. So that's the Hispanic and Latino kids that I'm speaking about. Not the black kids that ain't been fucked with yet. Not the white kids. It's no kid, now one of the kids can go get an education now because what the fuck's going on? Because the school's being boycotted because of what the fuck ICE is doing up there. I can't blame them. It's sad on many different levels. From the kids is being violated to the elderly people is being violated. That's the problem.
To corroborate whether she did say she wanted to keep the child, or if what DHS is saying is true that she refused to engage with them.
Yeah, this is the question right here. Is this fake news when it's about the mama? Listen.
And so we have photo, there were bystanders there, we have video.
Follow-up question to that. DHS in a statement said that mom refused to accept custody of the child and that the dad insisted that the child go with him. And you had any communication with the mom to corroborate whether she did say she wanted to keep the child, or if what DHS is saying is true that she refused to accept custody of the child in this situation?
So when we entered the home, it was really to provide support to the mom. She was obviously very distraught, very terrified. It wasn't an interview type situation for her. We were just there to provide support. I heard that the father perhaps, I heard that there's accusations that he perhaps fled. Everything I've heard is that he was handcuffed in the driveway. And what we saw when we arrived on scene was the father's car in the driveway still running. So the car wasn't turned off. So.
And then just a quick question for Mark. You said that they legally came to the United States, are applying for asylum. What year was that when they came to the U.S.?
2024.
Is that the entire family or just Dad and Liam?
Well, right now I'm focused on Dad and Liam.
Where are they from?
I'm sorry?
Where are they from?
Ecuador.
Question for each of you, if it's okay, Mary, if I can start with you, Nicole Stango with CBS National News. It sounds like you were saying school is here when you first saw ICE agents taking the father into custody. Were you agreeing to accept the child, and can you describe the scene in which other adults were ready and able to take that child?
For sure. So when I arrived, another community member, again, we're a very small community, so we know our neighbors very well. And somebody else saw me and said to the agents, "School is here. The school is here. They can take him." And I said, "Yes, I'm here. I am here. I can help with that."
You offered to take him, and you saw ICE agents drive away with
Yes.
the 5-year-old boy.
Yes. And then I held another community member in their front yard sobbing.
Did they say inside the house?
When you asked them why they were doing that, did they say anything back to you?
So, I don't remember if they did say anything back to me. There was a lot of yelling, there was a lot of people, making a commotion. And so all I can speak to is the part that specifically that I heard in my response.
Sorry, to clarify, Liam's mother was inside the house.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
So that means she didn't refuse to take.
Her child, was she clearly, obviously saying, just leave him with me?
Again, I was not at that door, when that was, as they were putting him in the vehicle and leaving.
Question for Mark. DHS officials have said that the father abandoned this child. How does that differ from what your understanding is? You said that they were being held at Dilley. What is your understanding of the conditions in which they're being held? Do you know if Adrian Conejo Arias has any sort of criminal record to speak of? I understand you're saying he was in the asylum process.
Sure, I'll take those in reverse order. To my knowledge, I had looked through the Minnesota criminal database and found nothing. So no, there's no crimes here that the family has ever done. And just to go back, so they are, again, Dilley is a family detention center, and I don't know the exact conditions. We have people that are going to be going and trying to visit them there to check them.
Being held together, but you don't know for sure.
Correct. I do not know for sure. I'm assuming so because the federal regulations require that. So I just have to assume that they are following those regulations.
And just lastly, for Zena, you described how 4 different children have now been taken into custody by ICE from your school district.
Correct.
What is the feeling right now among students, among parents, among teachers? And can you describe the scenes that you alluded to earlier of ICE agents in parking lots and circling school buses?
That's crazy.
ICE agents came onto our property, our high school property, yesterday afternoon when we were preparing to speak. And obviously we have school district video of that. My understanding is they were on site for about 10 minutes. And what they did is they came onto our indoor parking lot and then went into, we have an enclosed loading dock. So you sort of have to go under a portion of the building, which they did, to an enclosed loading dock. There were some staff members out there, some admin, who spoke with them and asked them if they had any business there, and eventually they left after about 10 minutes though. And so unfortunately, there's a large bank of windows, and a lot of our
ICE showing up at the schools. She's talking about.
So
listen.
Eventually they left after about 10 minutes though. And so unfortunately, right above that loading dock, there's a large bank of windows, and a lot of our students were up there and saw it. And so I think there's a video, some student put something on social media. Yes, because it happened during passing time. So students were in the hallway.
In a high school.
Whether it's care before or after school, or a sitter for...
Storm's coming to play. Hell yeah, it is.
I hope y'all safe out there, man. We're supposed to get some 150 million people. Supposed to get some bad weather, so I hope y'all safe out there.
Looks like it's just a little short distance from Memphis right now.
So we're looking at our legal options to see if we can free them either through some legal mechanism or through moral pressure. So we're hopeful, and we have to be hopeful.
Is the mother, did she not come out because she was concerned she would be grabbed by ICE?
I would presume that, yes.
Mark, I just have a question for you and then the superintendent as well. Do you know if Liam's parents had DOPA forms and who was listed on them, whether it was a family member, relative, friend? And how as a school district are you set up to handle situations where minors' parents are detained? Is that something where you have policies in place where school district representatives can take custody of the child? Are you legally able to do that if you're not listed on the DOPA form?
I don't know yet if they do, because again, I've only been working on this for about 36 hours and we've had more pressing issues, so that's the next level of our communication with the family for that.
Do they have other children?
I'm going to finish that question. Our school district started working on this a year ago, actually, and there are community law firms that came in pro bono and provided know your rights trainings to our families and provided those DOPA forms to our families. So those are available out there for people to take. Generally, they're not listing school district staff as the recipient. There's generally someone else. I have gotten some inquiries about would that be okay. And so, of course, we have to follow school district policy and state law and all of that. And but I think the comment about would we take Liam into our custody, we would take him into our custody at the scene, but we would take him back to school and care. And that's, that has been typical of, anytime after school when a parent is late to come picking their child up or something like that.
Yeah.
We can hold on to the child until we find, because of course we have the emergency contact list. We would know who to
Exactly.
contact if a parent isn't available.
Exactly.
Clarity, you have said that you believe that ICE is using children's data. How so, and in what way are you saying that they were trying to use the child to get the mother to come out to take her?
Shout out to these reporters. They asked some very good questions. Very good questions, man. This is not no little punk ass segment on CNN or whatever. This is a real live interview with the people who was there, who experienced it, and not biased on any political left or right or whatever thing. They telling you what they seen and what they experienced.
Where they allegedly used children's data.
I haven't seen any other situations in that case, but when I came on scene to assess the situation, that's the information that was relayed to me. If you watch the videos that are out there, there are 7, 8 agents all around. I would infer that the mother was probably fearful to open that door, and I've heard on the video the husband telling her to not open the door for fear. So the husband could see what was happening. He was right there. We've all seen the photo of the agent there. So, yeah.
But that's what you mean by using his bait, by knocking on the door.
So that basically that right there basically tells me that the mother did not abandon her child and say fuck her child. That let me know that. That let me know that off top right there.
Do you have any knowledge if the family has any plans to go to Texas to see them or try to get in personal contact with them?
At this point, not yet. So again, I'm focused on this urgent need of a 5-year-old in ICE custody. Right now, that's my focus.
What do you want people to know about this family, about Liam?
Well, we had the opportunity to talk to his preschool teacher yesterday, and she said he was just a wonderful child, a great student, that she and the classmates missed him. My quick student, that she and the classmates missed him. My quick, assessment of the family when I walked in, So the house immediately to the left, there was a huge teddy bear and, lots of things available for children to play with, things that you would expect to see. So that really struck me and caught my eye when we walked in.
Can you tell us anything about the other three students who are apprehended?
So I'm not releasing names. I don't have permission to release names. One was a 10-year-old child who was apprehended with her mother on their way to elementary school. She had been with us since she was in kindergarten and is now in 4th grade. So just imagine, think back to your kindergarten teacher, right? Kindergarten teachers love their children forever and ever. And so all of the teachers in that school were shattered. It was a very difficult day, and then it happened again and again and again. So the other two, I mentioned the 17-year-old in the apartment, and then on the same day that Liam was taken, that morning, a 17-year-old boy was taken from his car on his way to school. The kids just want to come to school. They want to be in school.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. You robbing the kids from their education. And what the school officials just said. Kids just want to come to school, man. I just said that.
They thrive. They're happy in school.
They're around their friends.
Like Mary said, it's a really nice community, tight-knit community. Yeah.
Can you say more about the incident you were mentioning and what's going on there?
Nellie Peters. I need to find out who killed my wife.
There might be a possibility. There might be a possibility that this woman lose her job because this is bringing a bad light on her school. I certainly hope it don't. But I mean, you never know how somebody on the politics side of the game can switch it to make this woman lose her fucking job. She's a high official in the school, system. So I'm pretty sure she's has something to do with politics. I'm not saying that she's running like she was a representative for Congress and anything like that. But I'm pretty sure it's political in her field of as far as her being a high-ranking official in the school system. I'm pretty sure there's some politics going on in that shit.
As one of my principals went to the address to check on the family, that the door was broken down. I believe it might be a multi-family unit. And so when I looked up the address, I have 5 students currently residing at that address.
The other 4 students detained, do you know what their status is, where they are, if they're still in custody,
The other 3 students detained. I know that the 10-year-old was taken to Texas as well. I don't know which facility. And the 17-year-olds, I don't know.
Mark, can you speak to the asylum request by his father and son? What were they pleading in Ecuador? What were the circumstances based on your understanding?
That I'm not willing to.
Other kids, they in Minnesota. Other kids was taken to Texas to detention facility in Texas that was detained. Other kids.
I'm not sure I'm
That's
ready
where
to talk about that either right now. I'm
That little
focused on
boy and his daddy's at too, in Texas.
You speak to the fact that they're in Texas right now. How challenging does that make this for you versus if they were detained somewhere closer? And you alluded to this earlier, but why do you think ICE officials moved so quickly to transfer them to Texas?
I just saw a report that just in Minnesota in the past few weeks, immigration lawyers have filed over 300 habeas petitions in the state of Minnesota. And with a habeas petition, you have to file it in the jurisdiction where the detained person is. And it makes it a lot harder for lawyers to file habeas petitions in Texas when we're up here in Minnesota. And so that's presumably the strategy for moving them that quickly. When I'm dealing with the courts, I can work with the courts from a distance, but when I need to communicate with my clients to talk them through the process, that's where it gets difficult. So if they live in Texas, that's fine. I can communicate them by phone, Zoom, email. But when they're detained, I'm at the whim of the detention facility facilities controls about when and how long I can talk with them.
Have you already filed that ABS petition?
No.
Or do you plan to?
That's part of our legal strategy. We're working on the best solution for them.
In terms of some of the kids, like what are they asking the teachers? Are they noticing their classmates' absence? What are they asking you guys?
So we are trying to provide a normal school day as best as we can for children. It is challenging. There are children who are absent. The other
And you're probably your
I had
jacket or
to
something.
direct staff to hold indoor recess instead of letting children out because there was ice activity, and of course now there have been gunshots in the state of Minnesota when there's ice activity, and so if it's happening near our playgrounds, well, I will bring them in so that there's no risk for our children. So I went over to that school and talked with some of the kids, and I did have a child who's maybe 4th or 5th grade say, "Are we having inside recess because of ice?" And so even our youngest children are aware of what is happening all too well. I mean, they see it, we see it far too often on a daily basis in our community.
So Superintendent, I know that we've talked about the Vice President's comments here, but while qualified by saying he knows that it's always a difficult situation when a child is involved and mom or dad are both, because you need to be arrested by law enforcement. He acknowledged that stuff. But he also effectively said that he didn't have a problem with how this went down once he was researching this specific issue. What would your response to him be if he's listening to you tonight?
We've had 4 children taken from my school district, and that's far too many. That's 4 too many, right? We would like to focus on teaching children and providing learning opportunities for children. That's our main focus. So I don't get into the politics. I really just want children to be reading and writing and learning science and all of the subject areas. And so that is what prompted me to speak out, is because I had heard that the approach was supposed to be targeting hardened criminals or violent criminals, and that they weren't targeting children. But when I see them at bus stops and circling my schools, like up and down the street, I have seen it with my own eyes. The same people in tactical gear. Yeah. So that's what prompted me to speak out. I mean, I this isn't what I aim to do. I just aim to be taking care of our children, right? And I would like to be able to do that.
She's coming with a pure heart, and she's being a true witness on saying what she's seen.
Are fearful. I'm telling you, it's really taking a toll.
It's taking a toll on the community, man, and the kids.
Hey, babe, let's stay in tonight. We're spending way too much money.
This shit is affecting the kids, but they don't give a fuck? Don't give a fuck about the kids, man. Kids can't even go get a fucking education because they in fear of being kidnapped and sent to Texas to some fucking family fucking detention center.
Everywhere. Have there been any clashes between local authorities and federal agents?
Not to my knowledge. I don't represent the police department, but not to my knowledge.
Not that I've heard either. Are you in touch with other school districts?
What do you say?
Not.
Police everywhere. Have there been any clashes between, like I drove past the school today and there are police everywhere. Have there been any clashes between local authorities and federal agents?
That's a good question.
I don't represent the.
That's a good. I told you, man. These folks are asking some good questions in this damn press conference. But that question that reporter asked was, that have there been any reports of any clashes between police officers and the local ICE motherfuckers, the ICE motherfuckers in the local police department? That's a good question, because I felt like you're not seeing any police officers in any footage. It's only ICE. Where's the police? Where's the MPD at? The Minneapolis Police Department. Where are they at in the footage? So that's a good question about them asking about is there any conflict going on? But the MPD, the Minneapolis Police Department, maybe they pissed off because ICE is like, damn, y'all taking over our job. This is our job. Y'all stepping on our toes. So that's a great question right there.
Department, but not to my knowledge. Not that I've heard either. Yes, are you in touch with other school districts that are dealing with this? And you're obviously the first to publicly acknowledge this, but what is that conversation like?
Yeah, actually, the superintendents here in the metro area and across the state of Minnesota are very close. We have a Minnesota Association of Superintendents organization that works together, and we definitely have these conversations. My understanding is that Senator Kunesh will be having a press conference on Tuesday at the state capitol and has invited school officials to be there.
Superintendent, you talked about keeping kids inside during recess because of ICE activities. We've heard, parent patrols outside of schools. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on outside of your schools during arrival and dismissal times? Have you had to call in local law enforcement to help with that? And also earlier this month, the governor said that he was considering whether there should be a state presence at schools to help ensure students get to and from school. Is that something that you would want to see the state take action on?
And I'll just say that'll be the last question.
Thank you, Kristen. So I communicate regularly with our local law enforcement. They mentor and coach our basketball team. They have open gym with our students. They do cooking competitions with our students. So we're in regular communication, and they're very supportive. And at the same time, we understand what the line is: local police department versus federal immigration, right? They're around because we have a youth outreach officer whose office is in a city-owned portion of our gym, I guess is the best way to describe it. So they are around on a daily basis. Particularly our one officer, who is a graduate of our high school, by the way, very proud. Therapy dog. We do have parent volunteers who have, of their own accord, chosen to be more present at arrival and dismissal. We also have had a number of staff who, again, of their own choosing, have been more present at arrival and dismissal.
And as for the governor's proposal?
Last question.
Just in terms of the piece about earlier this month, the governor suggesting a state presence, is that something you would welcome?
What I'm requesting is a peaceful resolution to the situation. So I'm not requesting state officials to come to the school district. I'm requesting that we find a peaceful resolution out of the situation, diplomatic and peaceful. That's what I'm requesting.
Thanks, everybody, for your interest.
All right, well, found out a lot of information right there, guys. Found out that these folks here wasn't aliens. Found out that the mother did not abandon the child. She was actually there. Fake news. It's fucking horrible. Watched a little bit of video on Don Lemon. Shout out to Skyler. Skyler just jumping into the chat room. He said Don Lemon for president in 2028. A lot of people wouldn't like that, man. Hey, but if you feel that way, fuck it. Why not? Shit, Don Lemon for president in 2028. We thought it was shocking to believe that Donald Trump. A lot of people didn't think Donald Trump had a chance. This man been around shit since 2008 now. But anyway, man, we dug a little deep into. I gave my thoughts and opinions on Don Lemon and the church thing. I think he's a independent artist. I mean, independent journalist where he can go and on the battleground, so to speak, and to these different places. And he just so happened to got the most important interview from somebody who was involved before they did, and they pissed. I don't think he should be going to jail. Or no charges should be pressed on him, or anything like that. You know, I gave my opinions on uh, um, uh, the, the the protesters going inside the church. Personally, I wouldn't go inside the church and protest. You know what I'm saying? Because I respect the church a little bit more. You know, than than to disrespect it. You know what I'm saying? So if I wanted to protest the folks and I knew it was a ICE agent motherfucker that's a preacher or whatever I wanted to protest, I'll protest across the street. You know what I'm saying? I'll raise my hill across the street, but I ain't gonna go in Bogart and go into the church, stuff like that. Me personally, Ice Cream Man ain't gonna do that. No, I ain't gonna do that. Then I share my thoughts and opinions on the said something about the little boy. Got that out the way. We spoke on that. Well, that's pretty much all what I got for y'all tonight, man. I'm about to take it on there, take me some more medicine. You know, took some cold and head congestive medicine, man. So might take me therapy pill or whatever. But I appreciate you guys tuning into the Neighborhood Superstar Podcast, man. Shout out to the people who was in the chat room, uh, giving their opinions. Baller Strike Bandit, Skyler. Shout out to Skyler. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Neighborhood Superstar Podcast, man. Uh, if you're interested in things that I said, man, just double back, rewind it. We said some pretty good things on this show, man. Gave my thoughts and opinions on quite a few different things. But that's all I got for y'all, man. I'm out. Peace.